Hello, welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brennan Pugh, and in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the beginning of Notion. So if you've never used Notion before, but you are interested in using it for your writing, this is going to be a great video for you to start figuring out how to use it, do a little bit of an overview of the interface, and then we'll kind of show you a few things of what you can start doing with it. So let's jump on in to the screen recording. Here we go. Huzzah! So this is Notion. So when you first pull it up, as you can see, we have a little bit of a bar here on the side that shows you different menu things. We have some things here at the top, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We got a little bit over here on the right-hand corner. And so essentially when you open it up, this is what it will look like. Obviously, I have things on this side that I've used this for a long time, so I've got a lot of things over here, but this will basically just be blank when you first open it up. So I have a new page here, and I've just called How to Use Notion as a Writer. And so you have a couple of things here. If you go over to Workspace here, you can click your workspace, so you can have multiple workspaces here if you want. I've never done that, so I'm not exactly sure how that works, but that's where you click into your workspace. You also have some search and updates. So this would be notifications for things on your pages. And then you have settings and members. So if you click into settings and members, you have a couple of different things where you have your members here. I don't have any other members. It's just me. You have groups and guests. I've included a few guests on a few things. Add members are simply like that. I don't know exactly how the pricing structure for members works. So I know there's some free stuff and there is some paid stuff. So you can add members there. Pretty much though, it's fairly simple. If you go into your My Notifications and settings, you have enable push notifications, desktop notifications, and email. And you can always send email notifications if you want that to be toggled on for everything. In your settings, this is where you can do the appearance. So you can have it be system setting with your computer. You can do light mode, or you can do dark mode. I like dark mode pretty much most of the time, unless I'm working. If I go outside and I'm working in the daylight or something like that. And then you have open at start, open on the last page you visited. You have a couple of options there where you can go to top page in the sidebar. Over here on this side, so whatever is at the top of your thing is what it would open in. Links in desktop, you can configure browser links to open in this app. So if you purchase a template online or you find one in the Notion store or whatever, if you click on that, does it open in the browser or does it open your desktop app? That's basically how that works. And then your cookie settings and showing your history. So you have a couple options. You can record or don't record your history. I use this on... I generally just leave it on, but I'm the only person in my workspace, so it doesn't really matter for me. Those are the main things. If you go over to plans, you can see what kind of plans they have available and the different things that are offered in plans. You have your billing, security, identity, and provisioning. Security, just a couple of different security options. Most of this doesn't matter to normal people. And then you have a couple of things you can connect to. This shows you what you are connected to. And then, of course, you can come up here, and this will show you other things you can discover to connect different services to your account. So it's pretty much how that works. You can upload a photo. You've got your email, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, if you want to log out or delete, you can do that there. So let's jump out of that. So that's essentially your settings. Over here, this is where you can create new pages and where you have your favorites and you have your private. Private is just all your pages. So anything can be in your favorites if you favorite it, but this is where everything gets held. So if you want to create a new page, you just click this little plus button, and then it gives you a couple of options. Most of the time, what I do is just give it a title. This is a demo, or whatever page you're doing. And then I just do empty page. Now, your other options are you can import from something else. You can import from whatever's going on, whatever you're interested in right there. You can go to this, takes you to the Notion template store. And so I'm not going to click that because I don't want to kick me out of this. Or you can make this whole page a table, board, timeline, calendar, or list gallery. Those are the different types of database views. Now, the difference here that happens if you do an empty page, well, let me show you first. Let me just go back to this. So let's go to, we'll just do a table. So the difference with this view is that this whole page now is the demo. So you can't really, you can't add anything else to this page. So I'm not a big fan of that. What I like to do is, so we'll do this differently. Let's delete them. I like to do, this is a demo. And I just start an empty page, and then with the / command, or if you just press space for AI or / for commands, so you hit / command, page, or I'm sorry, database inline. Now this database, you can have it on this page, but you can also add other things. So you can add another database if you want, so on and so forth. It's just a different way of going about it. I prefer to do it this way. Anyways, so let's continue. So a couple of things you can do. We'll just kind of go through some of the basic blocks, and then we'll kind of create a few things. So / command, the backslash is how you bring up all the blocks that you can do. So they just added this new AI feature, which I'm not going to go over that in this post because that is a paid feature. And so maybe we'll do some more stuff with that. I'm still experimenting with it myself. So we'll just come back to that later. But so we have two different types of blocks. We have basic blocks, which is all of these ones here. You have media, three. You have media, databases, and then you have some advanced blocks. So we're just going to go through, we can do those inline things, of course, and some embeds. So there's quite a lot of things we can do here. Sorry, I said two, but that's just not true. There's a lot of things you can do. This is where all the connections are. We're just going to go over some of the basic blocks in this. So first one we see is text. That's exactly what you think it is. You do this, hello, this is a demo, and you can just keep typing. If you just start a new line and don't hit backspace, if you hit backspace, it can add a thing. But if you just start typing, it turns into a text block. That's all that happens. So that's the text block, very basic, very normal. You can do all sorts of, normal things. You can bold things, you can italicize, all the normal things you'd expect from text. You can't do if it's not as robust as using Word or Pages or something where you have a lot of formatting options, but it's pretty close, pretty much the same thing. So then we have page, and if you do a page, I'm not going to go through. Let's see how many we'll go through. Yeah, we could probably go through most of them. If you do a page, it just creates a new page inside this page. So this is a demo sub page, we'll call it, and then I'll show you what that looks like if you go back. So now this shows you up here this little file thing that shows you where everything is. So if you go back to this as a demo, now we have this other page here. So if I click that, it takes me back into the page we created. If you go back, it shows you this. So that's how you can start nesting pages within pages. So we'll delete that. If you go down here, to-do list is pretty much exactly what you think it would be. So you can basically just have a little checklist to do one. You can do, this is a to-do, get groceries, and it just creates this little checklist for you. Then, of course, next we have headings. So these are the same things as what you'd expect anywhere else. You can have a bigger heading, a smaller heading, and another heading. This creates a simple table here. And so this is basically just like a normal little Excel table, but you can't really, there's no data in this. So it's basically just a small little simple table. So we'll get into the bigger tables later, but this is just a brief little overview. And then we have bulleted list, which is basically the same thing as doing a to-do list. It's just bulleted, and you have numbered lists as well. And then you also have a toggle list. So you can create a toggle. So this is a toggle, and you keep going down that way. And then what you can do with toggles is you can add stuff in them. So if you do hello, hi, hey, and then you can toggle that away. So it hides like that. You can also make toggle headings. So the headings that you have, you can also make those into toggles, and we'll talk about that at a later time. And then you have quotes, dividers, link to page, and callout. So quotes basically just creates this little line here and kind of makes it stick out. So if you write a bunch of text, you can have this is a quote. So we'll add something below, hello. The end. And then, of course, you can like drag things around. And so now it kind of puts this little indent here where you can have a little quote of something. Next, we have a divider, puts just a little line. And so this is kind of nice. If you're laying out a template, you can basically just divide that up, make it look a little nicer, helps clean things up visually. So you add a little divider. And then the last ones are link to page. So we'll get into this more later, but this is if you have other pages in your workspace, you can click this and link to those pages. And then a call out is basically, it's kind of like a quote, except it gives you a little box around it, and you can put this little emoji here. So you can change this emoji if you want, or you can type something. So this is a good, like, it's designed to call something out. So if you have something in your text that you want people to really make sure they notice, you can turn it into a call out, and it kind of makes it stick out in the text. Most of the time I use those for in my templates that I've made and have up for sale. Those are like what I use to put in instructions, so people know that you can, delete those out whenever you're done. So that's generally the basic overview of how to use the different basic blocks. And then what's really cool is pretty much everything is drag and drop. So this is a heading. This is text. Let's create a database. And then we'll also create a couple more headings just to kind of show some things we can do. So we'll duplicate this. So essentially what you can do is everything is drag and drop. So if you want this to be up here, you can drag it up there. We can make things 2 column. So this is a 2 column thing now, and it's all under this heading. So now we can put this under there. We can put this, drag it over there. And it's really great. So when you're laying stuff out, it's literally create all the elements you want, and then you can drag things around and do things that way. You can also, with your headings and pretty much anything, you can create colors. So you can kind of see things a little more visually. Say we want to add in a divider. Looks like that. So again, it just gives you lots of options for laying things out and making it look exactly the way you want it. This is how a lot of people make these Notion templates that you can see, and this is how I've made all mine. So that's basically a little bit of an overview of how this all works in the different blocks. So as you're getting started with Notion, I hope that helps you figure out what you're doing there. So just to give you an example of how this can end up looking, and when you start combining all of these things into actual templates or pages that you can use. This is a copy of our Storybook Master Novelist template that you can get if you are interested in it. You can get it in a link in the description below. We'll make it full screen here so we get rid of the sidebar. So this is exactly what I was talking about. We have these different headings you can see here. We have different status boards and databases, and you just start laying things out. We have the dividers. And you can basically make things look exactly how you want it. Obviously, in this, I have some advanced blocks put in, so it's a little bit different than everything we went over. But just as an example, this is something that can show you how you can logically lay out your pages to be used. So this again, so I've created multiple different pages within pages. So we have a dashboard page, which shows you, this particular view, and then if you go over to Brainstorm, it also shows you a different view, but kind of keeps you, it's all underneath the banner of Storybook Master Novelist. So this is kind of that pages within pages thing. So anyways, I just want to give you a brief overview of showing kind of the basic things you can do and then kind of what things can look like at the end after you've built something. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Writing Quest. I hope that this was helpful to you, giving you a little bit of an overview of how to get started with Notion. Again, I've said before, but Notion is one of my favorite tools for writing. I use it pretty much every day when I am doing my writing and working on my outlining of my stories. It's great for visualizing data in a lot of different ways. So if this video was useful to you, make sure to subscribe, share it, like and comment below. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below, and we will talk about it. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Writing Quest. Huzzah!